Okay, welcome back. This is question 43 from IMAT 2011 past paper and biology section. So I'll be explaining how to solve this. It says, what would be the chemical formula of polysaccharide made of made up of five glucose monomers? Okay, so we are given with five list of these options, each stating the formula of the glucose. Okay, but we must know that the most important definition of polysaccharide is that it's a polymer of this glucose monomer that makes up the structure of carbohydrate. Okay, so it the question given us is five glucose monomer that makes up this polysaccharide. Okay, so five glucose monomers. So, and they are bonded with the structure called glycosidic bonds. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a quick structure to show exactly how it is, the structure of this polysaccharide. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to draw the structure of glucose. So glucose, you must know that the formula glucose. The formula is C₃H₁₂O₃. Okay, so this is the chemical formula of a single glucose. Okay, so now the structure, I'm going to draw the structure of the displayed diagram of glucose chemical structure. So CH2OH. Okay, and then right over here, I'm going to draw a hexagon structure. All over here, like that. Okay, so have hydroxyl groups over here, like that. Okay, so this is the chemical structure of the glucose, and the most important thing you must know is that this specific structure of glucose is actually alpha glucose structure. Okay, so there's a two type of glucose. There's a beta glucose and alpha glucose. This alpha glucose is most commonly found in animals. Okay, and there's a beta glucose. So what creates this distinction is that I'm going to highlight here. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so this hydroxyl groups are the most important one that creates this distinction because in beta glucose, in this side, the hydroxyl group is up over here and the hydroxyl group is down. So it's more like in the different uh, section while they're in the same uh, the carbon position around this structure. They're in the same carbon position, but the OH, the hydroxyl structure is up over here. But the question does not specify anything about whether it's an animal or plant or it's alpha. So we can just assume for ease that we'll draw an alpha glucose structure. Okay, so this is the specifically alpha glucose chemical structure. Okay, so this is a monomer unit that will make up the polysaccharide. Now I'm going to draw the structure of how the glycosidic bond is. Okay, so now the structure, the bond between two alpha glucose. Okay, the bonding between two alpha glucose. Okay, so this is the structure. So the glucose. Okay, so this is the structure of the bonding between the two glucose. So this specific bond over here that you see, this bond is called, okay, so this bond specifically over here, it is called 1,4-glycosidic bond. Okay, 1,4-glycosidic bond. So why is that? Because this position over here this 1,4 is a carbon number position. Okay, 1,4 over here, this carbon number, and they form the 1,4-glycosidic bond, the link between these two glucose monomers. Okay, and this bond is formed via condensation reaction. Condensation reaction, so this will release one water molecule. Okay, 1 mole of water molecule. So this bonding happens via condensation reaction. Okay, uh, condensation reaction. Okay, so condensation reaction, you must know the most basic definition, that it's a link between the two compound that releases a small molecule which can be hydrogen chloride or water. But in this case, it's water molecule. One water molecule is released from here. As over here, I'm going to highlight this one hydroxyl group, and one hydrogen is removed to form the to form the glycosidic bond. This is hydrogen from one glucose, and this hydroxyl group is from the other glucose. Okay, so this is how the 1,4-glycosidic bond is formed. Now I'm going to now let's get back to the question. So now, since they said it's made up of 5 glucose monomer, okay, so 5 glucose monomer means that there's 5 glucose repeating units, and it has how many? 1,4-glycosidic bonds. So it's going to have a total of 4 glycosidic bonds. Okay, for now this part is for 5 glucose monomers bonded. Okay, so this is where it's polysaccharide. Polysaccharide. Okay, for this diagram that I drew here between two glucose units, this is disaccharide, meaning it has two glucose. This one is going to be polysaccharides, more than three glucose. Okay, so you have total 5 glucose monomers here. Okay, and so we must know that since we have 5 glucose monomer, there must be total of 4 glycosidic bonds. So this means if 5 glucose monomer forms 1,4 glycosidic bonds, so this must release 4 water molecules. Okay, so it must release 4 water molecules if it forms 1,4 glycosidic bond between these 5 glucose monomer to form this polysaccharide. Okay, so now as I mentioned, the basic formula for this glucose, the main formula is the C₃H₁₂O₃. Okay, so we have 5 glucose monomers, so I'm going to first multiply C6 with the 5, and then H12, then multiply by 5, and then O, and then 6 times 5. Okay, so this will give me C 30, H 60, and then the oxygen is 30. Okay, but this is an incomplete. Why? Is because this is glucose monomer formed via glycosidic bond, 1,4 glycosidic bond. So as I've mentioned here, that if it forms 1,4 glycosidic bond, it will lose one water molecule. So this means that since I have lost four water molecule, so meaning the loss from this overall glucose structure must be uh, eight hydrogens, 4 times 2, 8 hydrogens, and then four oxygens, 4 oxygens. So this is the total number it must lose from this number of glucose, 5 glucose, since they form 4, 1, 4, then form four number of 1,4 glycosidic bonds. Okay, so this means uh, so the carbon will stay the same because we've lost only 8 hydrogens and 4 oxygen because we lost four water molecules. Okay, so the only hydrogen and oxygen number will be affected. Okay, so 60, I'll subtract this from 8. And then the oxygen we have here is 30. So I'm going to subtract this from 4. This is 4 oxygen. Okay, so this will give C₃H₅52, and the oxygen is 26. Okay, so this is the formula of the polysaccharide formed of 5 glucose monomer. Okay, so polysaccharide formed of 5 glucose monomer, and the overall chemical formula for this polysaccharide is C₃H₅52 and O₃₆. So this is the formula, chemical formula for polysaccharide. Okay, so the correct option here is option B, C₃H₅52 and O₃₆. And this is the complete formula for polysaccharide. Okay, so now if we go through each options, we can easily cancel this because this is the formula of a single glucose monomer. This one, as I've mentioned, this is only if there's a 5 glucose monomer, but they're not chemical bonded and they do not exist. So this is also wrong. C₃H10, this is easily wrong and wrong. Okay, so the correct option is option B. Okay, so, and for more context, I can draw the structure of the polysaccharide, how it looks like. Okay, so this is the structure of polysaccharide in real life. Okay, so this is oxygen. This is the glucose monomers I'm going to draw. Okay, so mm, okay, so this is the structure of polysaccharide over here that forms this formula C₃H₅52 and O₃₆. So we have 5 glucose monomers over here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 glycosidic bonds that releases 4 water molecules. So that's the structure of this polysaccharide. Okay, so that's how we solve this question. Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you find this video helpful. Please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys. Bye.